Hello, one, hello, all, to an unlikely tale, Twilight of Luminescence, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure, modified with some Pathfinder flair. Tonight, it's a big night, as once again our party continues to face divine judgment for their perceived crimes against reality. And so, when we last left off, the party was in the midst of court proceedings, and Ause had just faced her initial uh, interrogation, if you will, and penance for her crimes. She, however, won the petition of three of the divine presence who oversought this courtroom. She won the favor of Lathander, of the Raven Queen, and of... who was your third? Peanut? Who was your third? Yeah. Was Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And now Silas was called to make his case. And as Silas steps forth upon his name being called, a look of heated defiance etched into his hardened expression. The attendant of the Mistress of Pain begins to list off his accused crimes against reality, and with each utterance his face twists deeper and deeper into pure contempt. It's when the attendant mentions Lysek and the tolling of the bell does he boil over and roar loudly, "Enough!" He casts an accusatory finger back at each of the present beings, sweeping across the room before resting on the mistress herself. Each and every one of you has the power to raise armies, to destroy nations, create prophets, and empower champions with untold power. Each of you could have stepped in at any time. Each of you bears the power to have changed things and prevent all of this from even happening. And you didn't. Instead, you squabble amongst each other like children, while we stepped up to the challenge. We did the impossible when you could have simply waved a hand. And now that we've failed, where it counted most, you think to cast your judgment upon us? You who did nothing while thousands died gruesome deaths at your hands. The hands of your kin. I know what that monstrosity was. I heard its whispers. You think to damn us? You're the reason it happened. This is precisely why I've taken the path I have. You're worthless, each and every one of you. And I eagerly work towards the day mortals outgrow you and your machinations. A tense silence falls over the courtroom. The air is dense as water with the sheer level of animosity emanating throughout. Kelemvor and Tiamat explode into rages, spitting curses and threats of every caliber at the Aasimar. Heretic! Foul abomination! Usurper! Asmodeus leans towards the Raven Queen, a sly smirk on his face as he whispers, "What a fine speech. Shame you lost such an interesting pawn." She replies, through a hushed whisper. "You think so, but his judgment is that of a fool, and an ungrateful one at that," she says with a venomous edge. Kelemvor wrenches the banister from where he stands, tossing it aside effortlessly like a switch, before leaping down to the ground and stomping towards the center podium. Suddenly, in an instant, no longer than a blink, Kelemvor is standing where he was, and the banister unscathed. An attendant floats forth and says, "Disruptions of the proceedings will not be tolerated, from either party," they say pointedly. Tiamat falls to a hush, and Kelemvor permeates rage silently, clearly displaying some sort of disparity in power currently held within the room. Silas remains silent for a moment, as he turns an uncharacteristically saddened gaze towards the elder Bahamut, before continuing. "I once served faithfully, but faith didn't save Barovia. We did. It didn't stop Ajna. We did. It didn't protect Lysek, or stop the Grazer, or Lucian. We did. And we've laid down our lives in blood to get here, doing whatever it took. I won't let you invalidate that, or those who died so that we could get here." He brandishes his mechanical arm, and through gritted teeth, as his gaze locks onto the Raven Queen who stands above, "I regret nothing, and would do it all again if I could save even one more person." And yet, still, silence falls over the courtroom. The first to break it, the horned king of deceit, Asmodeus, steps forward. He says, "I've heard this mortal speak, and I find myself entertained. He has my favor, as I'm interested to see what comes of him and his interesting ideology." The next to speak up, to everyone's surprise, is the androgynous Primus, who has silently looked on, watching the proceedings and listening intently to the words spoken. "This mortal shall act as an instrument of balance and right this corruption. He has my favor." But no one else speaks. Kelemvor smiles sinisterly. "Well, mortal, it would appear that you have failed to meet the standard of the others. I look forward to us meeting outside of these proceedings in the future." And this leaves 4 still to face their judgment. We shall see. And it shall be Ziz. The attendant calls from over the bench, "Ziz Cror, step forth." And with an expectant stare, the mistress of pain waits patiently for Ziz to step forward to face his judgment.
There we go. I was muted. Ha ha ha. So I guess as his name's called, he just steps forward and presents himself before everybody in attendance.
All right. Just scroll on down yonder. Okay. Ziz Kror, you stand accused of aiding in the creation of a weapon of mass magical destruction, upsetting the natural order of reality. You also stand accused of intruding upon divine court proceedings. How do you state your case?
So he ponders this for a moment and kind of emphatically gestures to all in attendance as he begins his explanation. Like, surely all of you here, despite my short time in your realm, know that I'm a man of knowledge. And who can ask a man of knowledge to truly stand down from a pursuit as great as that? As great as what we've seen so far? Granted, turning up here, interrupting these proceedings, wasn't part of the plan. But I'm sure you all know that the pursuit of knowledge comes with mistakes. And whenever we have tumbled into one of those mistakes, we've given it our all to set things right, haven't we? Now, I don't deny that maybe over the course of our adventures, or whatever you might call them, we might have stumbled into things that we probably shouldn't have. But I feel we've also navigated them about the best way we could have. And should there be something that we need to continue to set right, you can trust us to set those things right.
There is but a short moment of silence before the entity of Primus speaks up once again. With the tools at your disposal and the knowledge within you, will you turn your resources towards restoring order in the grand scheme? I know of your connections to Niv Mizzet and the Mizzet League.
I would not expect any less in matters of divinity, knowing my origins. And knowing my relations to my Paran, Niv Mizzet, certainly you also know of his tendencies. So yes, of course, we would be using at least resources that I bring to the table to set things right. Because, believe me, he wouldn't want anything attached to his name that leads to discord or an upsetting of the balance.
Then you have my favor. The next to speak, much to your surprise, is the undead form of Vecna, standing opposite the room. His undead eye swivels in its socket before falling on Ziz. You would earn my favor. Would you share the secrets of Miziu?
Well, loath be would I to deny such a request. from a deity. However, is there not great risk involved in divulging such secrets overly readily?
It's not your place to question, mortal. I make you an offer. Do you accept?
I fear that at this time, I cannot.
Very well. The next to speak is Maestra, whom has been quite quiet since the proceedings have begun. She looks to Ziz and speaks from her seat. Sir Cror, I know of your affinity for the magics of the weave. If I were to offer you my favor, would you swear fealty?
Once more, loath as I am to, I suppose, be involved in matters of divinity in any way, I also see that without you and your influence and your shaping of the weave as we know it now, my own research would be for nothing. And so I feel I have no choice but to accept.
I see. Most fortuitous. Very well. And the last to speak is Lathander, who readily offers his favor now that you have allied yourself with the forces of Maestra, allowing you to pass judgment, or to pass on facing judgment, rather. And with your case readily resolved, oh, okay, so I guess we'll take a step down from there. And we'll call that a 3. Roko. Roko?
You hear a tiny, whiny noise somewhere in the center of the podium.
The attendant speaks up and declares, Roko of the Amber Fleet, step forward and face judgment. What the heck? Why'd you go all the way back up? There we go.
Hi. I was not given a lawyer. I demand a lawyer before I speak.
As you request a lawyer, one of the attendants on the the attendant on the opposite side of the room speaks up. Unfortunately, that is not how this courtroom works. You are presented with the crimes you stand accused and are to mount your defense. Your judgment falls to a jury of your peers and betters. And should they petition favor, you will pass facing judgment. Excuse me, why do I keep messing that phrasing up? You will pass facing judgment for your perceived crimes.
Well, hmm.
Roko looks to Silas, eyes wide and brimming with fear.
And with a soft expression, he leans down and places his hand on her head. Worry not, friend. We still have Plan B.
That also worries me, but ahem. Very well put in my lapse of feeblement.
Roko,
Right.
you stand accused of trespassing upon divine proceedings, as well as the contribution to a weapon of mass magical destruction.
That's passing. Lawyer, lawyer, lawyer.
One of the attendants speaks up. Defendant, we won't stand for interruptions or disruptions during proceedings. State your case in your defense.
This is hardly a court of justice if I cannot have my lawyer.
Also, Roll20 is being chunky as heck. Hold on a moment.
No problem. I'm literally over here trying not to fucking lose it.
There we go. Think I fixed it.
Excellent.
I cannot speak without a lawyer, then everything I do say will be held in utmost regard to this court, in such a way that could easily twist my very case.
The attendant speaks up once again. Your words will be that of the truth, as this room is enchanted. What's more
I
is
see how it is.
What's more is there's very little in the way you can hide from divine eyes.
It is nothing that I'm trying to hide, it's more rather that I demand my rights, even as an alien of this world. You say I trespassed, but it was hardly voluntary the first time.
And this has been taken into account. Time you have served thus far will play part into your final judgment, should you face it.
Well then, since the rest of my companions have given their bubbly speeches of their righteousness, I can very well agree and attest to all of it. Surely that should be enough. And if I can only speak the truth, then you will know that whatever I say is completely within the same boundaries as their intentions, of the good and betterment and advancements of all that live in not just this world, but the entire universe.
She huffs out a breath. Very defiantly, and also because she may very well the counterfeit clothmaker at any given moment.
Oh! Silas gives her a gentle nudge from behind and says, "Well said." Primus speaks up once again. "I have watched you, stranger. I know you are not from our land or our world, and yet still you fascinate me. You're a variable that has not been accounted for. As such, I will give my favor, so that I might see and learn more of you and your kind."
Which one is Primus again?
Directly to your left. Yeah.
Ah,
The kind face of Lathander peers over the banister at Roko and says, "I see her soul, and she is truly one of purity. She doesn't belong here, and so I offer my favor so that she may see freedom." The last to speak up is the old man. "Little one, please, I offer my favor, but for one request. Bring this one back to the righteous path," he says with a gesture of his cane towards Silas.
what does Roko see in Silas's face as this was stated?
Stoicism. Purposeful stoicism.
Respectful nodding.
I can certainly see to it of such a matter, yes.
And the old man gives a single nod before leaving his perch and returning back to his seat at the bench. And having earned the favor of 3 of the present beings, Roko sees absolution. This leaves another to face judgment. Gandiva. The attendant floats forth from their seat and calls aloud Gandiva's name. Before reciting her crimes against reality. Oh, wrong one.
No, excuse me. Oh, give me a moment. Okay. She just kind of like squeezes on past everybody and steps up.
You watch your step, dear Gandiva. I am quite prone to your steps.
Gandiva, you stand accused of possession of forbidden magics and the hubris to intercede upon divine proceedings. You are also charged with contempt of court for your outburst.
When I first came here, there was only one charge. Where did the other 2 come from?
We have reviewed your history and time in Faerun since your arrival, and have been made aware of some of your unique abilities.
Oh, you mean this? And she turns into a bow and just falls to the ground. And then turns back.
It's so graceful.
The attendant just kind of watches on, unimpressed, and kind of apathetically says, yes, that. The nature of that ability leaves it to question whether or not you are a humanoid in possession of illegal magic, or an animated weapon given life, both of which are violations.
I was turned into that against my will by Arjuna.
Well, when you stepped foot into the barriers of this world, you violated the laws of this land. The nature of your existence is considered abhorrent to the natural order.
So when I came here, it was an accident. Like, we didn't know that we were gonna end up here. We were just trying to figure out where our friend Rocco here went. And she kind of like reaches down and pats Rocco on the head gently. We were just trying to figure out where Rocco went, and we just went in the same direction that Rocco was taken. And we ended up in here, and that was really weird. Sorry?
Roko practically bites her tongue from saying anything snarky.
The figure Asmodeus steps up to the banister from where he stood. And he says, "Little devil,
Yeah?
why do you serve him?"
What?
And he points his cane in the direction of Silas.
Good question. Wasn't expecting that one. Well, he saved me. He liberated me from having to serve Arjuna for the rest of my life and brought me to his world. I'm kind of new here. I don't know how things work. I don't know you guys at all. And so, what am I to do? He's all I know here, really. Him and this party here, that's it.
That's why I needed the light.
Roko quickly coughs out.
Oh yeah, and I love Silas. Why? What wouldn't I do for someone that I love?
And as Gandiva says this, Silas immediately begins to sputter and cough, casting a look in the direction of Alce.
Elsa just kind of like staring off into the distance, not really reacting. But like she notices Silas look at her, and like she just kind of like stares back and then shrugs.
Like darling chemistry between you all.
And upon hearing Gandiva's answer, Asmodeus begins to laugh. Genuinely. He claps his hands. Splendid! Splendid!
Again, Diva kind of like laughs nervously
What
as
a
well.
wonderful answer. Okay. Fair enough. Well, this level, we'll get to know each other far better in the future, I'm sure. You have my favor.
Cool. She wags her tail.
And with a kind of hint of disdain etched into her voice, for the first time you hear someone else speak up. As Tiamat calls from across the room after clearing her throat. Mortal, should you swear allegiance to me, I would offer you my favor. And you would be a fool to say no. So, do you accept or not?
Yeah, I did that whole song and dance serving dragons my whole life. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
You dare refer to me as some paltry lizard? I'll have you know that I am the queen of all dragons, and you will refer to me with the proper due respect, which would include you on your knees. Now, I'll say again, one more time, in case your small, primitive mind can't comprehend what you've just been offered. Do you swear fealty to the Queen of Dragons?
This is where I object. This is exactly what I was talking about. You deities have forced upon your own twisted sort of justice upon us without our own right word. Which is why we need a lawyer.
I also think this is bullshit because I don't even know her and she's talking to me like she knows me. And I like I said, I'm not even from this world. I can't just swear allegiance to someone I don't even know. Like
Exactly.
what how I mean, yeah, it'll benefit me right now in this case, but I don't know what you're gonna do with that after this.
And you don't need to know, mortal. It's not for your primitive mind to understand.
It is not in your right, and
Right?
she has her own rights.
Did the vermin just talk to me about rights?
Roko looks around in a panic.
Surely this is agreed upon. That this, whoever this Queen of Dragons thinks she is, can just say these things and get away with it. This doesn't seem like justice, does it?
Yeah, this is a problem.
And surprisingly, Asmodeus speaks up. Yes.
I need a minute. Hold on. I really gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
No.
Alright, we'll take a little breather and we'll pick back up with Asmodeus on the verge of saying something in response to Roko's pleas. So, everybody, take a moment, grab some drinks, grab a snack, use the bathroom, and make a big pee-pee. You know?
Yes, it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Also, James, have you been muted this entire time? Because you're quieter than usual.
He probably is muted.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, cool, perfect. Anyway,
Righto.
we're gonna be right back after these messages.
Don't you forget it.
Let's refresh and see if it updates the picture.
That's weird because I went to a character portrait and you click on the chat as thingamajiggy and click on Ziz and it should appear.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Oh, there's two of them. What the?
Yeah, because one of them is your Roll20 name for this particular campaign, and the other is the actual character.
Okay, well there we go. See, I don't know these things.
It is a magnificent blue man.
Brain as smooth as his head.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy it.
My brain's hairy. I need to scrub. Get it off the lake. See what time I work tomorrow.
So I see you are not getting in the Elden Ring hype train. Does it not interest you?
No, not really.
Fair enough.
I'm bad at that kind of game. They irritate me, and I've got a bunch of other stuff to play.
Gotcha. So far, I am liking it. It definitely feels like the best of all of the previous games combined into one nice little package.
I'm hearing a lot of good stuff.
It is definitely what Dark Souls 3 should have been, and everything more. Because boy howdy, I'm gonna drop this hot take on Josh's poor little channel. Dark Souls 3 was the worst. Disappointing sequel.
I don't know enough about it to have a dog in that race. I know Path of Exile has like their best expansion ever, basically, right now.
Good.
Which that ain't fun in terms of playing other games.
Well, I mean, you know what? If it's something you like, then more power to you.
It'd
You know?
be fun though.
Yes.
Mad ridiculous.
Okay, guys, so Val's having some severe tummy problems.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like just onset really bad tummy issues. So like she feels like she might throw up type bad. So just give her a moment. I'm gonna tend to her really quickly, and then we'll get back on track. I just wanted to fill everybody in, okay?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's no fun. I know what that's like.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna give her a little nursing and make sure she's okay, and we'll get back into the action.
Gotcha. No rush. The
Appreciate it.
well-being is top priority.
Much love, guys. Appreciate you.
In the meantime, then, I shall step out momentarily.
Hey guys, so unfortunately Val's feeling really, really sick. So I'm gonna call it an early night tonight, unfortunately. Maybe we can pick up again tomorrow evening. And we can finish things up. It's kind of, I guess, makes sense anyway because Jute, our fifth, is unfortunately missing in action tonight. So even after we concluded with Gandiva, I would still have to call it early anyway. That said, stay tuned for tomorrow because it's very likely we're going to pick back up again then if everybody's schedule permits, which most likely will be the case, hopefully. And with that, my good friends, I want to wish you a fantastic night. I want to apologize and want to wish you to stay hydrated, to get plenty of rest, and most importantly, you keep loving yourselves and each other, my friends, because I sure as hell love each and every one of you. And tomorrow will be a better day.
Hope she feels better soon.
Yeah, me too. She's like really not okay right now. Like she feels like it's gonna come out of both ends, and like she's like
Oh,
curled up and she feels
yeah,
feverish too. Like it's crazy.
that's not a
Mm,
fun place to be.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure she's okay and that it's nothing serious or anything like that.
for sure.
Thanks
If you want
again,
to pick it
guys.
back up, if you want to pick it up like tomorrow or like any other day this week, like
Oh, for sure.
basically all of them are better for me than tonight because I go in at 9 tomorrow, and
Yeah,
then any other
yeah.
day I go in later.
I remember
But
you
it's
mentioned that last week that you were gonna go in early tomorrow, so we were
yeah,
trying to make sure that everything got squared away. But that said, thanks guys. I really appreciate your patience and understanding.
Absolutely.
And
And
much
you all
love.
take care.
You as well.
Yes.
You as well. I'll probably catch you guys on Discord and keep you posted if anything.
and
Yeah,
additionally, uwu.
please do.
Alrighty, my guys. Much love. You guys take care, okay?
Yeah.